I'm not a quitter. I'm a brave young woman.
We're gonna talk about making $1,000 a month and if that's a failure or not.
You wanna sell my Twitter account after I die? What is the future? What is the plan?
I wanna try a mainstream thing and have an app that anyone in the world could use.
It's all about you. It's all about us building together.
Or if you're okay with hugging a person, that is the best criteria to want to collaborate with that person. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, Dan. We are all alone today.
It's been a while and I missed this. Just the two of us, just the cozy show.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. I mean, I missed you as well. I think in the past few weeks we had such a crazy episodes, and I'm so grateful, but I have so many things to share with you, and I need my personal therapist here.
Exactly. We need some me time or like
Yeah.
us time. Yeah. So we have a super crazy show today. We're gonna talk about a $250,000 investment that might have been Sherlocked by Notion. We're gonna talk about fake discounts and if that is dark marketing or is it fair play. We're gonna talk about making $1,000 a month and if that's a failure or not, and maybe a surprise from my side. And also, you have a story that you've been dying to tell me. What is it?
But this is not related to indie making or tech or anything like that. It's just a personal thing, as I said. Um,
I mean, that's the best kind of story if you ask me. Let's hear it. Let's
okay.
hear it.
So, hello everyone. Welcome back to Morning Maker Show. It's lovely to see you, Dan. I was just before the show, I was trying, or I wanted to take a bottle of water, and I stretch my hand, and I'm in such a pain. Every single muscle on my body hurts. Um, so I don't know, Dan. You probably follow me on Twitter or not. You better do. But
I
yesterday.
just pressed follow.
Okay, great. Thank you. But yesterday I went outside to socialize with people, and they took me on a rocky mountain and told me climb. I'm in such a
And you
pain,
did climb.
and I did climb. I was like, I'm not a quitter. I'm a brave young woman. I can do this thing. I was hanging. I was hanging. It's so dangerous.
But what kind? Is it freestyle or did you have like some security? Like what?
Do I look like I would freestyle my life? I have a show to run here.
You have responsibility. Yeah. So you were like having some security cables and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but you are hanging in the air. I was hugging air at one point, hoping that everything will be fine.
I have a question. Why would you ever want to do this?
It's a really good question. Um, you do it because you feel, listen to me, Dan. I am in
Alive.
this. Yes, exactly. And I went outside with people that love to do that, and I'm such a supportive person. And I was like, okay, I can do that. It's not a big deal. And then 5 minutes later, I'm hanging and they're telling to me, relax, it's all fine. Just climb the mountain. And I'm like, you climb the mountain. And then you have to also, one thing that they didn't tell me is that once you go up, somehow you need to go down. And that going down is a tricky
Yeah,
one.
how explain to me. I really have no idea. When you go down, is it like a jump or it's still slow, right? It's not like bungee jumping and you just go for it.
Yeah, it's not bungee jumping. They did ask me while I was hanging, how do you want to go down, fast or slow? And I was like, what kind of question is that?
Do you want to go head down or feet down? Well, what were the options?
And you know what's the most interesting part? Because you're climbing this rocky thingy, there's rocks from all sides. So, like, just, you remember physics in school? Well, you remember when you
I
talk to
remember
your.
I remember physics, yes.
Exactly. So you remember when you tell yourself, "Oh, I will never need this in my life." Well, Yesterday I was in a situation where I was like, wait a minute, if gravity and I'm hanging, and if the force of the nature is coming from this side, where am I going to land? Because the thing is, when you are climbing and then you need to let yourself go, the moment you let yourself go, the power is coming from the right side, because and then you're going directly left. And from my left side there was one, like, how do you call that, like a rock, a huge rock. And I let myself go, and now I'm going to this rock.
You really let yourself go, Sandra. You really did.
And they're like, no, 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 put your legs up. And I'm like, I'm already up, like, leave me alone. So it was an experience.
John says in the comments that never do this together, and I completely agree. It's a huge responsibility. Who's gonna do the show? I think sure we can have AI, but is Lara now going to take over and just use AI and create episodes for the next 10 years or what?
I mean, we should sign some kind of deal then, that, if we are going or planning to do something that is dangerous, um, we shouldn't. Like, in the contract itself, we should
We should
forbid
make
it
a
ourselves.
contract with each other. Yeah, I think so. Or with the Morning Maker Show community, we could have a
Yeah,
binding contract that we cannot disappear. Otherwise, we need to give the money back, which is
exactly.
actually kind of complicated because if we both do bungee jumping and kind of fail at that, I guess, we cannot refund people because there's no one left to refund. Do you know this product by Carl Popa or Popacalypse? Aaron, I call him. Do you know he had a product called Beyond Demise?
No, what was about?
So he's working on a product that periodically checks on you. I'm not sure exactly how, like maybe it's an email or something, and you need to kind of say, yeah, I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. And if you're not, you put all your secrets in there and it will release your secrets to the people that you've selected. So kind of, master password to all your stuff. So then if something really bad happens to you, someone gets the access to your social media and whatnot.
You want to sell my Twitter account after I die? Is this what you're saying to me?
Uh, I, I mean, it's good value. It's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'll sell it, but I'll definitely want it if it happens.
Please, if something like that happens, make a good tweet, a viral one. So use the opportunity well, okay?
Yeah, I will definitely do some really good marketing on your behalf if that
Thank
happens.
you.
But will you do the same with me? Can we have this
With
deal?
you? Oh, oh yeah, for sure.
How will
For
you use
sure.
my account? How will you use my account? I wonder.
Well, I think there is a huge difference on how you are using your account and how I am using mine. But for sure, I can promise you this: no more wallpapers.
I knew it's coming. What's wrong with my wallpapers? I think they're beautiful. Did you see people say they're great? They're asking for an app. Like they're literally telling me, where is the app where I can download these entire wallpapers? They're beautiful.
I don't still understand, why do you need an app for it? What's the
Well,
deal with the app?
how do you search for wallpapers?
I don't.
What is your current wallpaper? Let's go from that. Let
You
me
want to see?
investigate this a bit. Yeah.
Look
Well,
at it.
okay, so you got the scuba diving pack.
Yeah.
Sure, but some people they want to personalize the phone a lot. You've never felt that need?
No, it's already too much. I don't think
Okay,
the wallpaper will help. Okay, then look.
you're not my target group. That's fine. That's fine. But the world is my oyster, and this is actually, you know why this is a good idea in my
Tell me,
mind?
please.
And John is listening, but John, cover your ears for a second. It's because I don't want to do niche products anymore. I want to try a mainstream thing. I want to go across all professions, all kinds of people, and have an app that anyone in the world could use. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And the wallpaper is the key. You're saying that to me.
I'm not saying it's the key. I'm saying it's something to try. And everyone likes wallpapers except you apparently, which you
I like wallpapers. I love it. Look at the fishes. Little fishes make me happy when I see it.
yeah, there you go. So you could be a customer to my app. You know why you want an app? Because wallpapers are one of those things that you really don't know you need it until you see it. So if you get this app and you see, oh, I have all these cool options, let me just try something, and maybe there's an in-app purchase for the one that you really, really want. You know what I mean? Then we have a deal. Then you win and I win, and that's it. That's why I'm doing wallpapers.
Just the one question though. When you make this app, um, can other people bring their wallpapers? Oh my God, I'm scared that he's gonna show the app.
It's not the app. I'm just showing some wallpapers. And look at this. Do you see, like, look at the clock. Do you
It
see that it
is. It
gets the
is nice.
color? And look at this,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
right? And there's something for everybody. No, you cannot. It's not a marketplace. So look at the comments. Chris says these are so crispy, yum. Everyone's like, oh my God, harmonious. This harmonious, Sandra. Look at this. They all look pretty good. Do you see? These are all people that A looks great. I like to see color palette is sick. Sick. That is the word you want. Sick. That means in-app purchase. It's one to one pretty much.
Money.
Love the color shades. Okay, this one. Let's skip it. A bright spot makes a difference to me, so I imagine like a difference in life, kind of
Yeah.
life-changing
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah, 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 yeah. Could you please make a tweet? Should I make a wallpaper app by the end of the show? If the poll says yes, you make the app. If it's no, you don't do it.
What kind of poll?
On X, you can make a poll, yes or no.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do. So, what should I ask? Just should I make a wallpaper? That's it?
Should I make a wallpaper app and would you pay for it?
Okay. And wait, would you pay for it?
Don't add don't add that one because we just need yes or no.
Yeah, because this is how iOS apps the ones that make a lot of money, they have these in-app purchases, so you kind of hook
Mhm.
the people, and then they get to use it, and then you unlock some stuff. And I don't know what could brainstorm with me while I make the poll. What could I unlock with an in-app purchase? Is it like more background? Tell me, please.
Yeah. I think you know what would be interesting if you do purchases, but then people can request what type of the wallpapers they want from you. So you can go really, really creative on it.
Got it.
You know what I
I
mean?
have, yeah, got it. So yes and no, is that what you want, or do you
Yes.
want more?
By the end of the show, we see what's the situation. If it's yes, you start immediately.
Oh, okay. But I cannot do. I can do 1 day. That's minimum. No. Wait. I can do
No, you
one
can
hour.
do hour.
Yeah, I can do 1 hour. Okay,
Yep.
it's out. Let's see.
It's out.
Let's see. Okay, cool. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I've been seeing a lot of good ideas in the community, and I actually, how about we go? How about we go for like 10, like we just pick 10 updates from people in the Morning Maker Show community from our Discord, and we just go through the stuff that they're building?
Yeah, I think it's super interesting. I think we have brilliant people in community doing amazing stuff. And let's share it. Let's share it. We prepared a special segment for that. The first one is Greg, and he has its own gregnotes.com. And the way he's writing Dan,
ggnotes.com.
ggnotes.com. People, you need to read this. Every time, like this is the last post he made, it really touched me. Like every single post he makes, like I read it, I take my coffee, I read it, and then he has ability somehow to tell you a story, but not to push the narrative. So he leaves this space for you to think. And I always tell him, like, sometimes I feel like you are in my head and you can see what I'm thinking about, but it's not actually about like being, how can I explain? He's so good in being able to tell a freaking story.
Yeah, it's just a thing if you practice a lot, you get good at but
Mm.
writing, but also he has good stories in speaking. I think
Yeah. Oh,
he's
yeah.
just a good storyteller in general.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So people, please check out ggnotes.com.
You know, he's an old fox. I'm not saying that like to say he's actually old, but just he has a lot of apps and stuff, and he's been one of the original product hunt makers
Mm.
and hunters and so on. Did you know that? And
Yep.
he's made a bunch of products, and now he's doing Telaski is the latest
Yeah.
app, right? I think
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how it's called, and it's a really cool app. It's basically using AI to collect questions from people, and then when you talk freely, you have a lot of filler words, you have a lot of, stuttering, or you like reiterate on an idea, and that it's very hard to record yourself doing that.
Mm.
And basically, this app cleans up all your messy thoughts and get it into a form that you can publish already. So, have you ever got contacted by these publications where they ask you for an interview and then they send you a Word document with 100 questions that takes you 2 days to answer?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so I
Yep.
wish I had this instead, where I could just talk about it freely and then AI cleans it up, makes it perfect. Yeah, podcasters, newsletters, and all that stuff. And yeah,
But I have to be honest, when I was looking at the website of Telaski, I didn't get it. I didn't get it at first what it's about.
yeah,
So I had to ask Greg.
yeah. So his landing page says, "Get people to answer my questions. Getting people to answer my questions is hard. If only it was easier for them to do it. Talaski makes it super easy for them to answer by simply talking." So definitely would I like the style and I
Mm.
like that it's different, but I would probably also not get it. I know what it is because I talked to Greg in the past and I know I've even tried the app, right?
Mm.
But completely agree. So is it the same that you saw that and you were confused?
Yeah. 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 It was this one.
So would you like a more traditional CTA or what would help you?
Yeah, I mean, like it's always easier for me. Like you have great websites and graphics, and that's always super nice to see because you can see the effort, or you can actually feel Greg's design skills in there already. But I'm so used to classic websites where the explanation is super simple. I know what to do. And somehow, if the person is able to target me, I can get it immediately. Um, why are you laughing? I feel like you're laughing and you are looking that there is so many people saying yes to the idea of you building an
No,
app.
no, no. It's a secret. It's a secret. No, no. Someone said that if something happens to me, can they have my sentry cap? So yeah,
I want
I mean,
t-shirt though.
oh yeah, the T-shirt is good as well. Wait, can I do? So my T-shirt today, it says Bug Slayer, and that's me right there. It's my favorite T-shirt. I only wear it for the show, and I want to like dose it. You know, when you have these clothes that you keep for like the best occasions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is my Sentry T-shirt. I'm not just wearing this to the shop, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's not, like, when you're cleaning your home and there's a bunch of stuff you want to throw away, either it goes to the trash or you donate, or it becomes a washing thing or like a cleaning t-shirt.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. No, this never. It will never. I will keep this for 20 years and it's never going to be a washing one, never.
Get yourself a Sentry t-shirt. That's the key.
That's the key. Limited edition, but they do so like they do a $100,000 merch drop. So I actually
Mm.
got this for free, and also the cap I got for free. I can put the link in the chat. But if you want it, I think they did one on their Twitter and
Mm.
LinkedIn last week. And essentially, if we're quick and you see this, you can get everything for free. So that's how I did it.
I
I'll
wasn't
put
in
the
that
link.
group, unfortunately. Dan sends me a link and I'm already late to it.
Yeah, yeah, I'm always saying, "Hey, Sandra, there's a free thing. Get it, get it, get it." And by the time you do it, it's sold out. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, I got it. It was pretty easy for me. I got the cap and then the t-shirt, and this is all I'm wearing during Morning Maker show. All right, Sandra, do you wanna take one more community member? We just did one, and I feel like it's a little bit slow. Let's
But this
go.
one, yeah, let's talk about Validate My SaaS from Scott. It's super interesting product. Landing page is very, very classical, and I dig the vibe. But validate before you build, not after you ship. You like the line? It's a good line.
I love the line, and it
I
speaks
love
to
the
me
line.
personally.
You see, but you're already trying to validate it. But what Scott is doing is actually you can submit your website and explain what your product is about, and then they will pull all pretty much competitors. You can also see reviews and product hunt launches, and it's really, really cool idea because it gives you ability to see what's already on the market before digging deeper, like then building an app for wallpapers.
Maybe.
Uh, maybe after this you can also try validate my SaaS.
This is a really freaking cool website. Look at this.
Yep.
I love this with the scroll. It's like a scroll hijacking, which I don't normally like, but this is done in a good way.
Yeah, the website is
S-
brilliant and it's
Super
so
sweet.
simple to understand what is about. Um,
Yeah. All right, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah. So my wallpaper app would most definitely be a good candidate for this to validate it.
Scott, if you are looking for your target audience, there is one having a show with me right now. It's called Dan. Find the same people as Dan, and you're gonna be a billionaire very soon.
Right. Find a lot of dance. I think it's kind of I've seen one just walking to the show. It's kind of easy to find guys like this. Like bearded developer guys, pretty easy.
Yeah, and then if you really want to niche it out, try with guys that are wearing sentry hats. It helps very much.
Yeah, it's exactly very good niche for this type of stuff, and they also don't do bugs because they have Sentry, so they're actually
Nice.
all right. Next one, Sandra.
But that was good, Dan. Next one.
Smooth.
Our favorite person, actually, and we don't talk about much. It's Lera, by the way.
Oops.
Oops.
How did you get to Lara as number 6?
Well, sorry, I put the girls first.
Okay, Lara.
Yeah, Lera is like, but what Lera is doing is super interesting. It's so funny to see because I remember Lera when she started Twitter a year ago, and then seeing her growth now, it's amazing. You know what's also interesting? Whenever someone is talking about like YouTube and editing in the community, they are always mentioning Lera. So she kind of like formed her name pretty much in the community. But she also has a product now, Clipwing, and I hope people are using it or try it out because it's super, super amazing.
You could try it out without credit card, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's super cool. we use it as well. It's for shorts of any
Mm,
kind and TikToks and so on.
mm,
And I think more indie makers should get into this. I think it's a little bit risky to be on only one platform,
mm,
and while you're building a product, it's essential these days to also build an audience and also to be a little bit of a content creator. Like that's a good distribution channel. And since, we don't have funding or,
mm.
millions to spend on ads and all of that stuff, this is perhaps the next best thing you could do.
Exactly. But did you notice that more and more people in the community, especially in the Morning Maker Show Discord, are talking about going on YouTube? And then a second ago, actually opened Norbert app, Ugly Duckling, which we all kind of use already. But also Norbert is planning to go on YouTube and talk about like developing and build things live, and it's super interesting to see how more and more of us are actually becoming a content creators as well.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And also, Joan from our community, he
Yes.
does weekly building public updates from, his experience. He puts it as a small podcast, but also on
Mm.
YouTube and on X. And I'd definitely recommend doing that because it's the kind of thing that takes a lot of time initially, and you need to try it and hit the wall
Mm.
until you get efficient at it. So the sooner you start, the more chances you have to streamline this process and to have it pretty much as a side by side with building instead of
Mm.
having this huge mountain that you have to overcome to actually become a content creator. So doing it relaxed on the side and becoming very good at it using stuff like Clipwing to
Mhm.
save time, or Descript as well. We use Descript to clean up the audio and to do edits. That's also a super cool app, decently priced. Definitely recommend it. But Ugly Duckling, that's actually a cool tool to keep you doing content on X, to keep you active and to keep you motivated. So you get analytics. You also have some analytics on X, which are not the best. I actually like these better. And you also get leaderboards with other makers, which
Mhm.
is super motivating. And then you get the streak dashboard. It's kind of like if you've been on GitHub, kind of similar, and it just keeps you going, keeps you posting at least once a day, which is awesome. And I think he's getting to what, 300 users, which is pretty
Mm.
crazy. Definitely recommend trying this out. Are you using the Ugly Duckling?
Yeah, yeah. And of course I'm using I think there was a wave of every one of us using it, and I love the competition part. I'm very competitive. So I think that's very, very fun. And what's interesting also is that when Norbert joined the community, Ugly Duckling, I have it's like so cute. Um, it was a little bit different. And I remember during our sessions that we have, like the calls we had, you could see how he was getting the feedback and he was implementing that in the app. And it was like so nice to see that the community comes together and kind of builds the product together as well. Because sometimes we are so deep into our like way of building and thinking that this outside perspective is so important to get, and I think that we managed that very well, to keep that momentum during our calls, where we are like very focused on feedback and trying each other products and talking about it, but also in the same time implementing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the cool part about Norbert's product is that for the leaderboard, you actually get to discover some other makers that are active
Yeah.
on X, and you get some ideas for content, and you
Mm.
kind of create your small circle. This is how it used to be when I started, is that you create a circle of people kind of going through the same stages as you are, and you start following them closer and closer. You even have the Excel spreadsheet back in the day where you actually went through the sheet and checked what people are doing. It's a little bit similar with Ugly Duckling. It's how you
Mm.
find this corner, and it's a lot harder these days to do it because of the algorithm changed. Hashtag build in public is not as good. I recently wrote about it. I used to go there
Mm.
every day and find new people, interesting people, find new products. And now when I go there, there are still a few that do it, but it's really the same type of
Mm.
content
Yeah.
that they do. So I'm not discovering, maybe because I've been in the community for a while, but I know them. I know what they're building. It's still cool to see them, but it's a handful of people that do it. And then there's also a lot of spam. So when
Mm.
you start these days, it's probably quite difficult to find your people.
Oh, that's such a good point also for Ugly Duckling. Like people can actually go there and see who is active in community and find great people. I didn't think about it like that. Such a great point, Dan.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Ooh, next one. Now we have an interesting person, and this. Okay, I love community and I love online things, and we are all friends. But when you meet someone from this world in like physical, actually see someone, it's totally different. And
Ah,
this
you're very
person,
physical.
yeah, hugging, everything. So Einaris, that's what happened to me. Einaris is like entrepreneur. He's been in this world for a while, but he just started to code and he joined the community and he met these amazing people, and then he joined a morning maker show, and then we met in Riga and it was so amazing because I had that speech and then he came to support me. So it's like these relationships that we are building, and then when you see actually people like who they are and you hug them, it's totally different as well.
We should do. I think we talked about John and his indie village, but I think we
Mm.
should do one of these gatherings
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
actually get to meet people, get to talk, get to sit down, hugging. That's always nice. Remember what John said. If you want to, or if you're okay with hugging a person, that is the best criteria to want to collaborate with that person, to
Yeah.
to work together, or to even invest in that person. So hugging
Yeah.
is sort of the universal language for I want to work with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Did John invest already or?
I keep refreshing the lemon squeezy and waiting for John's payment, but nothing's coming through. I think there might be a problem with escrow. I'm gonna ask
Yeah.
Nico. He has lots of experience.
But please do that because I'm looking forward to his investment. But to wrap these things up, why we are mentioning these amazing people is because I think we are building a community and it's really hard to know where it's heading. But one thing that I'm pretty sure is that I can already see amazing people with amazing products. And what's even better is that they are willing to help each other. And I think that Morning Maker Show community is all about that. I hope one day we will be able to see like, I don't know, huge products, and you will know that all of these people in the community had influence on that. Because last week we had a community call and Elias was mentioning the what are you guys doing, what is Morning Maker Show, what is the future, what is the plan, and I had no idea. I was like, it's all about you, it's all about us building together, us helping each other, and then just making great things.
Yeah, that's about it. And I think the other important thing that is it's not as tangible is if you're doing this and you're probably doing it from home, working on your own thing, it gets pretty lonely. And humans, there, most of us are social people. I mean, not me, but others. They are. And you kind of need some sort of belonging, some sort of, you
Mm,
just need sometimes a person to speak to and tell them about your problems.
mm,
And the problems go away sometimes just because you can talk about it and you realize, oh, it's not such a big deal. And I think that happened a lot in the community. Some people worrying about maybe some legal aspects, but we
mm,
actually have some people with legal experience too, or people worrying about a new channel going to LinkedIn and then someone said, just do this or do that. Or, I think Norbert at some point, he was like, the X API changes are pretty risky and what am I going to do? And, just having some people to talk to is super important and essential in the building process, because you can get demotivated and not really have anyone to bring you up to get you back into building, and you might even end up giving up without having a community around you.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I think,
Yeah.
It's really amazing. The best part that I have is these weekly calls, and you can actually see people. And the
Yeah,
last 15
can you
minutes,
tell me how this works? So, or not me because I know, but tell everyone else how the weekly calls work.
yeah, every week we have a call together, and then we all join, and then we talk about what happened, and where, if we have any problems, if we need any help. There's crying and there's laughing always. There's always a complaining as well, a little bit of gossiping and etc. But last 15 minutes of the call are always about what do you need and how can we help, or what we can improve. So it's everyone joining together and just trying to figure out like what we are doing and how can we help each other. And one more thing about like why I think Morning Maker Show community is different is because each member has its own role. Pretty much, it's not about me and Dan leading community. It's like every single person in community is included in building Morning Maker Show. And I think everyone has a clear understanding of that. Everything else is just like technicalities that we need to figure out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay, drama
Do you
now.
do you want you want to get straight to drama? I think
Please.
we took 5 updates is just because we're really excited about these things. We have so many more people in the community that build awesome things. We just didn't get to you all, but maybe we should do this every show and we
Yeah.
kind of go and we take 5. We cannot take everybody, unfortunately, but I didn't get to. There are some really cool things happening. Danny, he launched his directory fast. Serhi, he's launching the only link as well. It's super cool marketing app. Yulia, she's working on Postly and Papermark. Sia, he just launched Gen GPT. There's like so much going on, and I've just from the top of my head, right? They're
Yeah.
amazing products built in the community, and I really like once someone launches, the whole community kind of comes together and supports, and gives you that launch boost that you need, and then they're off to the races afterwards. So let's do this in the next episode as well. We're gonna have a guest though, but maybe we should take some updates and then explain a little bit about the guest afterwards. Sandra, do you want to take the first update? Oh my God, it's been so long since we did this that
I know.
I forgot how to do updates. So okay, for people just joining in that didn't join for a month or just joined for a month, we usually pick up updates from makers from Build in Public. Some, big and small, doesn't matter. We just go through their updates, and it's a little bit like a news section, what happens in the indie world, and we talk about it, we comment about it. So we had a lot of guests. We had Mark Liu, we had John Rush, we had Marie from Llama Life, and we didn't get to do this. And I think it's a shame because I really like finding out about what people are building, and also just bringing them to the attention to the rest of the community, right? Because this is I think this is hard today. It's a lot harder to get reach and to get known with the algorithm as it is today, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think why we started this Morning Maker Show is to discover these great people and share their stories. I think we also learn so much, and what's fun for me is actually seeing someone growth. I mean, now when we are going through the updates, you can see a a person that is making their first money, but you remember when we talked about when they just launched or they had an idea of the product or whatever. So there is this whole journey that we can see from the updates, and that's really exciting.
I like to think that when we see that, when we see something from starting or having zero revenue to 1,000 or 10,000, that we actually helped a little bit in their
Yeah.
journey. So that's why I love doing this. Maybe it's just thinking that I'm more important than I am, but it's still cool to follow along with those people. But okay, next update. Did Notion just Sherlock a $250,000 investment? I'm going to open up an update for you, Sandra, and then if you still remember, you have to read it, and then we have to comment on it.
Okay. So it's Notion, introducing Notion sites, the easiest way to make a website. We turn Notion's publish button into a full suite of features, including custom domains, to help you create personal websites, portfolios, travel guides, and more with just one click. Get started today.
Okay, so far so good. How does this feature look to you?
You know, it's problematic, Dan. It's problematic. I have a problem with Notion. I have a problem with these companies. It looks a little bit, should I say it? Do you want to say it? I don't know if I'm brave enough to
Say it.
say it.
No, say it. Say it. Come on, gather your strength and say it.
Feature. I
You
did it.
said it.
I said it.
So here's what Amos is saying. Rest in peace to the website builders and blogging platforms built on Notion. Yeah, that is an entire market, and I don't have an opinion if rest in peace. Oh, this one got a lot of views. People says it was expected. Other people asking if they're closing their API, and other people say that they're skeptical because they might not provide as many features and customization as some of the indie products do. Yeah, I don't have an opinion. I think it could be bringing some attention, but at the same time, if you're building a tool that does this, you're gonna feel something, some sort
Mm.
of emotion, right? It's not really, you're not gonna be relaxed reading this. But here's why I'm bringing this up, and it's a longer thing to read. It's because it does affect people from our community as well. Do you want to read this?
Yeah. This one is from Tiba Maker. Did I just lose $250,000? Yeah, the news shook me a bit. I was instantly like, bye bye, Feather. How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, Feather. Yeah.
Feather is fine. PB was right about selling it. Perfect timing as navigating this. Then move the mouse.
Excuse me.
Was right about selling. Perfect timing
Fire the content editor. Just fire him. He's terrible.
Perfect timing as navigating this will require energy and focus. First thoughts, Notion seems to have done a great job here. It's nice and simply works. So I agree that Notion-based website builders are in trouble, but but is it also true for Feather? I'm not entirely sure, and maybe there is an interesting opportunity here. For now, I'll observe and learn. Coming soon, coming back with a plan soon. I think this was a really good response by Thibaut, very respectful. I had a similar situation with Notion and I wasn't disrespectful. So great job, Thibaut.
Remind me not to get on your bad side.
I mean, it's always tricky. I mean, when a big company does something that you are trying to build and bring to the market, it's super disappointing. I remember my reaction when Notion did something similar as Clue, and I was also in disbelief. And the worst thing, like you have your own emotions, but then you go online and see all the people that mention you and telling to you it's over, and then it's just very very overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. So It's just a lot of feelings coming, and of course, when you're alone, and then there's a company that, for as far as you know, has an infinite budget, legally
Yeah.
speaking, and also, yeah, feature-wise, that and Notion is one of those. It must be tough. It doesn't mean that it's the end, but it's just normal to feel that way,
Mm.
and you're probably gonna figure something out, and especially if Thibaut put $250,000 in this. I'm pretty sure he's not willing to just give up on it.
But yeah.
He's pretty good at pivoting things and so on. And maybe the other comments were right that they'll never have the same amount of features, and then you could
Mm.
essentially figure out some niche, because that's
Yeah.
what we do all the time. We look at a big product or a big corporation, or you know all sorts of big companies doing enterprise things, and then you find a subset of features that they cannot support or they don't want to support because they have other priorities, and you just make that really, really good. And
Mm.
you find your market, you find distribution channel, and you're able to do a decent income and still compete with them on that specific feature, not on the entire product. So, very interesting comment from Banu. So Thibaut bought this from another indie maker. And Banu, the one who essentially sold, has this pretty long comment. Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Banu is saying a lot of people are asking me what I think about this new feature and what it means for Feather. If you know what all Feather does and what Notion site does, I think you will have an exact opposite view of what many people think. Here's what I think. Notion just expanded Feather's blogs market massively. Now almost everyone will know that it's possible to host website blogs with Notion. They will try Notion's inbuilt feature. They will instantly realize that it's not built for blogs. They will start looking for ways to make the Notion inbuilt feature work for a professional blog. In this process, they will discover Fetter. The discovery process for Fetter just became so much easier now, thanks to Notion. Notion just catapult Fetter to huge market with their new feature. We will definitely see it happen with Fetter in the coming days. I think this is very positive approach. I would agree on certain levels that the discovery process of Fetter became easier, but in the same time, how many people will need the customization as much or go outside of what Notion offers? It's going to be a niche group of people. Maybe if they manage to get this niche group of people, um, it will make sense.
I think the question is what is the pricing on this? That is the big question, because
Yeah.
if Notion sites are free, so you can publish stuff for free right now. Do you know this? Have you checked it?
I've used their publish feature before. I didn't try the new website builder.
Yeah. So if this, let's look at the pricing and figure it out.
Yeah.
You want that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if this is free, and if you have no need to add team members, because that's when they start charging you, and they start charging you a lot. I'm not. You probably pay a ton of
Yeah.
money for Clue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Uh, but if for personal use this is free, there's a problem in selling a product, even if it has more features. It's a very hard argument to make, to
Mm.
put your credit card, whereas you can have this for free regardless of the feature set, because it's different types of customers. I get that, but it's still very hard to compete with a free product that is built directly. It's not a separate login. It's not, no
Yeah.
other process. It's a pretty difficult value proposition unless you found that niche that really needs your feature, and they're willing to pay anything. You have
Mm.
this, what you call it, a painkiller, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at pricing. And free, you have Workspace, Slack, GitHub, invite 10 guests, page history. It looks like custom website. What's this? Customize your header, choose a light or dark theme, add a custom fav icon. Yeah, so to me, it looks like there might be a limited set for websites in the free plan. They don't even say it specifically, which is weird. And then if you pay $10 a month per seat again, so if it's just you, that's $10. If you have a team, that's expensive. You can also customize that website with, these are pretty basic things though. So I mean, a top header, like I don't think anyone would not want to customize that. So you're pretty much looking at this $10 plan. And let's see further. So .so, I think there's a free trial, and it's $39 a month. Okay, that is steep for 10K page views. Yeah. So okay, but it all depends on the margins here. Maybe this is a nudge to change up the pricing a little bit. That could be one option. Or maybe the whole pricing strategy could be changed from page views to also customization. There are some opportunities, but just seeing that Notion does charge makes me think that there is still space for a competing product that could do this, be competitive on the price and maybe on the features as well, or specific features. If it was free, I would be pretty concerned. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it will be interesting to hear from Thibaut what is his view on this and how he's going to move forward with Feather. But it's always tricky and scary when you're building your product on top of something. And I think we've seen that a lot of times in the community.
Yeah, huge risk. So again,
Huge.
yeah, when you use an API, you never know if they will change the pricing. That happened with X and Reddit, and also ChatGPT. I think there is an inherent risk to just have that, and that's why people are using fallbacks to Anthropic and Cloud and now Gemini as well. And it's good to have those set up because it might take a little bit of time. If something happens, it can happen overnight. So the same as this came out of nowhere, from at least from what I can see. And it was very similar to the exchanges. I think they were like 2 weeks, and then this new thing's gonna happen, and if you don't pay, you're out. So there is a inherent risk to relying on some sort of third-party API for sure.
And it's $250,000.
That is quite the price to pay, yeah. But think about how much was the X cost per month? Was it $10,000 or something? The API subscription. So when they changed the API, they changed
Yeah,
it.
it was something crazy.
Yeah. So I think it's 10,000 a month, but I'm not exactly sure. So you can also think that that's a similar type of move where you essentially, well, you don't lose that money, but if you were to continue with that product, you have a couple years and then you're down 250K. So this also doesn't mean that Thibaut lost the money, right?
But wait a minute. Thibaut was the one who made Hunter, or what was the name of
Tweet
the
Hunter.
app? Tweet Hunter, and he sold it before the change.
Are you suggesting this is some sort of twisted karma?
Conspiracy theory. It's just a conspiracy theory. No, but it's like these things can go, both ways.
Right. Right. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Let's talk about the next topic. This is going to be a huge drama, and I'm a little bit afraid about talking.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready, but I'm not. I'm a little bit terrified because I'm afraid I'm going to say something bad. But let's go. Can you please read this?
Names. Thibault Lecoy. I'm so sorry. Should we discuss illegal fake discounts? Whenever you are the number 3,540 or 3,560, the price is always 100 off. I know nothing about boilerplate, but fake discounts are prohibited. and then
So
we can
he's
see. Yeah.
talking without naming, which is he has it in the screenshot, but you could name what you're talking about. I mean, don't hide. But he's talking about ShipFast and specifically under the CTA, which says get ShipFast, it says $100 off for the first 3,750 customers, and then 6 left in parentheses afterwards.
Mm.
And this is true. When that number is reached, the discount doesn't really go away.
Okay.
It's a permanent discount, right? It doesn't actually. So if you read this, would you expect that if 6 more people buy it, that you don't have the discount anymore? Or what would you expect?
Yeah.
Honestly, you would. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But that doesn't happen still
Mm.
from your I'm asking Sandra the marketer, not Sandra the customer. Is this bad to do, or is it a valid tool in your toolbox that you can use to make a sale?
As a marketer, I think Mark is great in it. It's a brilliant way of making people feel that they're gonna like they there is a certain rush in the copy. Now, did I use it? I have not. It's very also tricky. It's a tough one, Dan. Like, I understand why he went with it. I understand it creates the rush. I mean, he's not the first one. We've already seen this multiple times. Um, would you use it? Would you use this type of the copy?
I've used this copy, but then when I reached it, I actually took it off. So I think it's a perfectly fine approach, and I bet
Mm.
he made a lot of sales because of it, and I think I have too. But the way I did it, I did a pre-launch, and then I said the first 100 sales. That was on
Mm.
shipixon.com. I said 100, the first 100 customers get 50% off, I believe, at that point. And once I reached the 100, I just took it off and it wasn't
Mm.
there anymore. So, and I might do it again when I have the next discount. I think it's a good tool to have urgency, right?
Mm.
And you need
Mm.
that. But if you're going to do it forever, something needs to change. I think what you could change is just decrease it. Maybe you just decrease it by $1 if you want to be fair. So every time you
Mm.
hit the next 10, it goes down by $1. You could do some if you want to keep it
Yeah. Yeah.
always like that. So there are kind of ways to do it. I think it's a brilliant tool. You have to be careful not to come off as deceptive with it. And I
Mm.
agree. And I think because Mark has so much exposure, there's always someone coming out of the woodwork that will say, "Hey, look at this guy." Because 3 months ago, no one cared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now everyone all of a sudden cares. Yeah. And I think this is bad for us. I think this is bad for the community. I think this is the approach of doing it this way and calling out someone, and I think the original tweet got almost 500,000 views.
Mm.
It's not a good style, and it's shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah. I had a similar thought. I felt like I think how we react on these things, especially when we are talking about the community and makers here, there is opportunity to be better in the sense because we are still humans. Even if we make a mistake and we make multiple different mistakes on like weekly basis, there should be a way on how we approach these things if we want to fix them. But if you want to create a drama or just go crazy with it, that's like totally different type of negativity. I don't want to be involved.
Yeah, I think to some extent, the person that did this did it to get the attention, and
Mm.
that is somewhat common. Once you get big enough, there will be people that do this to get your attention. We have one more of these, yet more drama coming up afterwards. Let's take this opinion by the creator of Small Bets, the Small Bets community, if you know
Mm.
that,
Yes, yes.
Daniel Vassallo. Here's what he says. He says, nothing wrong with this and quite clever from Mark. He's committing to discounting the next X customers. He never claims or implies the discount won't be extended. Nobody who is not a hater is going to complain that the discount got extended. What do you
Why
think
can't
about
we all
this?
be happy with discounts?
Yeah, I think I agree. It's just that the way you read it with the six left is
Yes.
that you expect something to happen when the
Mm-hmm.
six left do elapse. And I actually think, yeah, having some sort of change when the six, I don't know what, the price goes up or the discount goes down or something should change, in
Something
my
needs to
opinion, as
happen.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something needs to happen once you hit those. And you could, maybe you just go down 10 cents, right? Then it's
Yeah.
perfectly fine. And the and you keep going very slowly down, and then you satisfy all of these. Yeah, huge discussions around it, and I think a lot of people disagree with Daniel and even
Mm.
call this illegal. I have no idea if it's legal or not. I've seen this in many places. I still don't agree with the approach to call out people. I think we've just spent half an hour going through community and talking about people helping each other and building things together.
Mm.
And this is the complete opposite of that. Sure, there is a perspective where you don't want indie makers to take this too far and to give it, a bad, to give all indie makers a bad name. So all of a
Mm.
sudden there's an umbrella term, indie makers are scammers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Even
I
though this is
think.
not is a scam is a huge word for me, because a scam would mean you pay and you don't get anything, or Mark takes your credit card information. This is like very far from that.
Yeah. I think it was a copy paste thing. And I fully agree with you. The only issue is this, what he wrote in the brackets. There needs to be, but Mark is very, if you think about like 2 weeks ago, he got himself into drama with developers. He went out of the bubble. He fixed it in like 4 days. He had a new landing page that was more appropriate to developers, not to, I mean, developers, indie makers outside of this bubble. But, and I think that he will do the same thing with this. It's this process, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you fix it. And it can happen to anyone. And what we kind of forget that maybe in a year, if we tend to work and push things like Mark does, maybe we will be in the same position with the amount of people knowing him. And then everything you do has some kind of reaction. So I would think hard before criticizing, because we had the same issue, like we had the same approach with Mark when we did um reaction video on the drama he had few weeks ago. We were bluntly honest about what's the problem is and how you could fix the problem. And I think that's how it should be.
And fixing a problem is a lot easier if you know what the problem is. And
Yeah.
there just happens to be a tool called Sentry that will alert you of the problem before it happens.
With Sentry, bug goes away.
I cannot advertise this enough, because when you get, how do you like that transition, Sandra?
It was excellent.
When
Excellent.
you get that error and you jump on it, and then the customer gets in touch 30 minutes later and you reply, it's already
It's
fixed.
fixed.
There's no better feeling in the world. But Mark's problem is a lot harder to fix with Sentry. Of course, he's a big fan of Sentry. He even has a t-shirt I saw, handmade.
Yeah. Handmade.
I
Yeah.
think his problem comes with scale, and there's always, when you have such a big audience, there's just a bigger percentage of people that are outside of the community. But this guy, he seems to be part of the community. He just
Mm.
seems to not agree with Mark at all, or maybe there's a lot of, I'm not, I don't know who he is. I don't want to judge, but these things come from a place of
Mm.
envy more often than not, from some sort of, you can take this two ways. You can look at it and say, I can do something similar if I keep doing it. This guy's story is inspiring. Or you could look at it as, this guy, he made a thing that is not even that hard to build. I can do this in a weekend. I can make this open source, and I'm just gonna take the guy down because he's not deserving this, right?
Yeah.
And the other approach happens outside the community all the time. If I go on Reddit and I post one of my products and I say I could do this and that, I betcha the second comment or the third, that the best is going to be a guy saying, what is this crap? I'll just start building my own and release it as open source on GitHub.
Yeah.
It's always
Oh,
like that.
during a weekend. It's always the weekend.
It's always the weekend because
Yeah.
they're too busy,
Yeah.
in the 9 to 5. So, but when the weekend comes, oh, you betcha they're gonna make a better version and make it free as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And good for them
Yeah.
if they can. And good for
Yeah.
them if they can distribute this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a bit sad when this happens outside of the community. I get it. I'm just very sad when it happens from inside the community. I think we should be supporting each other and
And learn from
having,
each other.
yeah, we can have a healthy discussion about this. And I think he's a fairly receptive guy.
Yes.
I think you can get to him and tell him about this. And I think there are more elegant ways to approach this than just calling them out in public and sort of dragging people through the mud
Yeah.
for what? Because at the end of the
Nothing.
day, I don't think anyone won out of this except for the guy getting some exposure, but I really don't think is the correct type of exposure. It's a little bit as getting an angry mob with you, but do you always want to, be the angry mob person? Yeah.
I'm gonna be selfish and grateful in the same time. I'm so grateful that this. I mean, okay, I'm so selfish. I don't know, but I'm so grateful in the same time that all of this is happening to Mark and not to me. In the sense that he's going first, he's doing all of this for us, and I'm just here learning the lessons. Like, you can take it as that as well.
Yeah, that's what we asked him in the previous show. And I think no one's really prepared for this. We asked him, did you expect, once you get successful, did you expect all of this coming
Yeah.
towards you, all of this, hate, I guess? And he admitted he was not prepared and even felt a bit sad. And that's the other thing is, when you do a tweet like this and it's a completely selfish act to do, you're not thinking that all the people that are gonna come and comment and say bad things about that person, you don't think it will affect this person. Mark's a very, still down to earth guy, and I bet you when he saw this, he felt all sorts of emotions. He felt sad. Maybe he just, took the day off, even because
Yeah.
this kind of stuff gets to you. You cannot really think straight after you see this, and you feel like you should defend it, but can you, what can you say to an angry mob at your door? Yeah. So you also, I disagree with this just because of that, because this is a person that worked hard. We all make mistakes. Maybe this was too much, fine, but don't target, that person's state of mind, their well-being, and make them drag them through the dirt just because you want to get some engagement and some exposure. And think a little bit about how you're hurting others, and we're all people here, and we should be a little bit more considerate where we share this.
Oh, that was
This is
so lovely,
becoming
Dan.
this is becoming like a very sad show. I think I miss some good news in the community. I miss more positivity. I saw a lot of people saying they're not on X that much because it's so negative. I think Nico said he's taking a break. That's why we don't have the cheese segment in this show, which is pretty much the most important part of the show these days. Also, Matt and Dima from Oscar Stories, they're not posting too much, so they just go on our Discord every now and then. And I'm really sad that because of people doing this for their own gain, they affect the community at at Wide, and I think they're not part of this community. And do you know why?
Tell me, please.
It's because they always had this sort of attitude, and with this
Mm.
attitude, you'll never be part of the community. And from their perspective, there is no community because no one really sticks around in their circle to create something together. They're
Yeah.
always going to be alone and have, a small moment of fame and then fade away and kind of be
And be
by
remembered as that.
themselves. Yeah, and be
Yeah.
remembered as that and never really get to meet the awesome people in the community. And
Mm.
you and I, we have met people that we will probably be friends for years, for decades,
Mm.
people that we collaborate with, people that we build together with, people that we learn from. We have them on the show, we have them on the Morning Maker show, Discord as well. And this is for me the best part about it. And I really don't like it when people attack this for their own gain. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a
Exactly.
subjective take for sure, because I have something and I don't want these people to come in and take it away. But no one wins from this. We don't, and they don't win long term for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're fully right. But then the only thing at the moment I can see is your background, and I can see
Yeah,
Mark on top. Can you take a moment and quickly explain to me what's happening there?
yeah, it will be my pleasure actually. So
Yeah.
this is actually before I go to sleep. I have this.
Mm.
This is I can move this. It's
Yeah.
a art installation. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And these are sort of our fans of the show. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll just want to, focus on a few topics here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, for example, Mark Liu, 1147, he said best show ever,
Uh-huh.
and I think this just goes to show that wait up here. This just goes to show that we're doing a very good job. But then we also had Levels IO. Have you heard about this person before?
I've noticed him in the community. Not that quite big, but he's a
Yeah.
potential definitely.
Yeah, so he's saying, I want to come on together on the Morning Maker show with Daniel Vasallo. So I read this before I go to sleep,
Yeah.
and it really makes me calm and get me
Uh-huh.
in the right state of mind and can fall asleep. I have very weird dreams though. Do you know what the dreams are? It's all sorts
Um,
of it's all sorts of deadlifts and air frying.
uh-huh.
It's quite strange. Yeah, and then yeah, he promised that one day he will come, and he never replied to our DMs. So hopefully he's gonna see this and remember that he promised that he also promised us that he will come. And I keep
Yeah.
these updated. Did you see here?
Brilliantly
So
done. It's very
yeah,
important.
so I care about numbers. So this went up from 35 views to 16,000 views. It's probably a bit out of date, but
Mm.
yeah. So I take this to bed. I take it in the shower as well, and I just want to remind myself of the commitments that these people have made towards the show.
Excellent, excellent. And it's really good that you can just take that art installation wherever you go. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I haven't traveled with it yet, but I think that will be the next step is to figure out how to
Possible.
take this on a
Yeah.
plane. Yeah.
I think it's possible. I think it's totally possible. And I think you should do it and look at it.
Yeah, it's a work of art, to be honest. All right.
Um, just one question before we move to any other updates. Can you quickly update us on the tweet you posted with the wallpapers? Because I really want to know what's the situation at the moment. I think 1 hour is already done,
Yeah.
and I need
Let
an
me.
update for that.
So, what do you predict happened?
Well, I feel like I'm gonna need to prepare a product hunt launch in the next 3 weeks. That's my expectations, at least.
Well, surprise.
Whoa!
43%, almost 44 said no, and only 22% said yes out of 48 votes. Um, is this the final? Yeah, it's the final result, which
Oh,
also means we've been doing this for 1 hour. So when you look at this and people say, no, another one, and unpopular opinion, make a SaaS which will change the world, I heavily, wholeheartedly disagree with this. Make the most boring thing that doesn't change anything, but solves one simple problem in the simplest way possible. That's what you should be doing. Don't do the next Facebook, because you will fail and you will be miserable and you will think this is not good for you and you won't be able
This
to
is
sell that.
every Friday night of an indie maker.
Sabir says if you want to. Well, I obviously do. And then a comment here, it's a bit of a crowded market. We built this ages ago. So I know nothing about this market.
But that's not the point, huh? I don't need to know.
I can validate my SaaS with Scott.
Yeah.
How do you, what is your interpretation of these results?
Um, I wasn't expecting that actually. I thought you will get more support and people saying go, 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 and then I'll go. I'm gonna be a bad guy and I have to say no. Dan, please don't do it now. But thank you for all the people that said no. I don't think that will stop Dan at any point. As you can see, he's already
Not
know the
at all.
market best.
Not at all. I'm going to build this no matter what you
He's
say.
ready to
So
change the world that no one cares about, and I love that, Dan, about you. So I'm actually kind of like vibing with this idea of wallpapers. You know what? I'm gonna change my wallpaper now, and then when we end the show.
I have some crazy wallpapers for you. But listen, the only thing is, if I'm going to do this,
Mhm.
the only thing is not to have any expectations and only spend a maximum of 2 weeks. I'm going to build a website with ShipExtend. That's going to take 5 minutes. And I'm going
Mhm.
to do the simplest possible app that has a one-time fee, no in-app purchases, no complex things. It's just going to cost $1 or $2 to buy it, and you have access to everything. It has a bunch of wallpapers, and you can press a button and get them in your phone. That's it. That's the app. If that gets 10 sales, then I'm going to build the next one. But that's 2 weeks spent on this. And I might not get anything. That's perfectly fine. There's no losing in it. There's learning, right?
I fully agree with you. You can only learn here, and I'm here to support you. Dan, you are a friend of mine. I love you very much. If you need any marketing, I'm here for you.
You're just saying that because the poll like tanked completely and now you feel bad about it.
Maybe if we do one more post.
You know what's the most important lesson here is if you have fun with it, it's also a good enough reason to do it. And I'm having so much fun with it.
I fully agree with you. And your wallpapers are beautiful, Dan. They are
And
beautiful to watch.
let me tell you another story. About a year ago, I wanted to make an app and I
Mhm.
had a whole plan for it. I even have the design for it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I had the whole marketing plan, and it was first uh, um, an open source script, and then I'd use that open source script to funnel people towards a nice user interface and sort of make it easier to use the script through the user interface, right? That's the overall idea. And I presented this app to someone, and they were like, well, there's a lot of similar things, like it's a hard market. Who's going to buy this? Have you thought about this and that? And it's pretty hard. So I got discouraged and I thought, yeah, you're right. I actually haven't figured this out. I don't know the target group very well. I haven't thought this through. You know, I'll just not do it then. And I even had like a POC, so I was quite close to even launch like a basic something. And my moat would have been user experience at the time, which is the moat in a lot of products that I do, to be honest. ShipExten especially, it's like a user experience wrapped take on starters, boilerplates, whatever you want. So anyway, the next month or 2 months afterwards, a guy launches that script, the exact same idea that I had, and it's a good implementation, by the way, and it gets like thousands of GitHub stars. I don't know if you kind kind of quantify what that means, but a good project gets 100. A great project gets maybe 500 on launch, and then a viral product that kind of gets used by the community at large gets 1,000. So you've basically made it as some sort of baseline product for that niche if you get 5,000. So they did that, and then shortly after they launched the UI and they launched the service, and I think now there's multiple people working on it because apparently it was a good idea. Their only moat is UX as well. And this just goes to show when people tell you no, you
You
should
go.
say, fuck off, I'm building this. That's it.
Can you repeat that one more time? Because we need that without me interrupting you.
When people say no, you just say, fuck off, I'm building this.
You heard it. So we can expect new app, wallpaper app in 2 weeks, correct?
I'm going to spend 2 weeks from the point I start on it, but I don't know when I'm going to start on it. It's brewing in my mind, you know. One day I'm going to get the exact shape of the app in my mind, and I will open the computer, and then I have 2 weeks from that day.
But I love that you are taking it as something fun and place to learn new things, and what happens, happens. That's the whole point of whatever we are doing. So,
And that's a good segue to this update. You want to read it?
yes, Abhishek. By the way, he's a super interesting person. I've been following him. He's absolutely amazing. Anyway, I failed in public with my second product. I failed in public with my second product. 18,000 unique visitors, 3 months of work, and 1,000 in revenue. 1K after months of work isn't worth it. Oh, well, on to the next project. Would you agree that 1,000 after 3 months is not enough?
I do not. And actually, we were talking about failure. And making $1,000 from a product is very hard to spin off as a failure. And even if you made $10 from it, what is failing anyway? Because by building this, you've realized I shouldn't spend this much time, and you've realized there's a better way to build and not waste the 3 months to get. If 1,000 is not your target, you'll figure out the next product, and you'll figure out what is a efficient way to do it, to not go through the same problem. So I don't see this as a failure at all. I don't think making $1,000 on the internet is a thing to shy away from. I think my first paid product made $800, and I was so happy about it. Even the first dollar that I made me more than happy. So of course, Abhishek, this is his second product, so he probably made some money on the first, and I guess the expectations were I'm going to make more. But again, look at Mark. He made 24 products, and it's not that the next one that he did always topped off the previous one. This is not linear. Okay? You might make less, and then the next one flops even more, and then the next one makes 100 times the amount that you've made.
But it makes because all the lessons you learned from the previous ones. So you're so right. We talked with Mari about it. It's not a failure, and it's never a failure. It's always a lesson that you can implement for your next product. I also agree with you, Dan, that 1,000 is a great number after 3 months of working on something. Maybe the issue is like, okay, how do you scale this? What do you do next? And etc. So it could be that he feels more comfortable. I have no idea what Dan is doing something, but anyway, maybe he feels more comfortable with going to a next product. Anyway, good luck. You're doing amazing job, I think, and you're so fun on X. Something is happening and I'm confused. We can, yeah. So take each failure as a great lesson, move forward, build products, learn, and as Dan would say, have fun. Um, do you
Please go
need some
on.
music then?
Please go. No, no, please go on.
Okay, okay.
Do you have some
Um,
other learnings?
yeah, so we've been doing Morning Maker show for, I don't know, it's gonna be anniversary soon, I guess. And I can tell you we had many, many fails during this show, from the internet or the mic's not working or connection is bad. Something is always there. But we've learned, look at us now. We have great show, we have great guests, amazing sponsors. So the key is not to quit, but to move forward, and to take each failure as a lesson and implement that in your second product. What the hell is happening?
Can you
We can see a knife for people.
just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
continue? Yeah, just continue.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm so grateful for meeting Dan actually. And one thing that we can take from failures is that even if you're just starting with Twitter, even if you're just starting with your project, one thing from the lessons you'll see is the people you will actually meet that will make your life so happy, like Dan is making me right now. And he has been doing that for more than a year. Sometimes he makes my life a little bit difficult, like right now, where I need to talk about the things and I have no idea what is he doing or why is he doing this, except I can see a spam, chopped pork and ham. Oh my God.
I I just want to say, if you want to see the reaction video to me consuming spam, I know everyone wants to know, how does this taste? Is it good? Is it not? Please subscribe to our YouTube, and there will be an exclusive clip coming up this week. Sandra, will you wrap up the show?
Yes, of course. Please then continue enjoying your lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, lovely people in the community, thank you very much for joining us. As we said, we promise a show. It's not a podcast anymore. It's a freaking show here. Thank you for listening. You can listen and watch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Join our Morning Maker Show community. We have weekly calls. We chat, we cry, we complain, but we do have so much fun. And yeah, of course, as Dan said, this exclusive video of him eating this pork will be on our YouTube channel. So please go there and subscribe. Until next week, see you all and have an amazing week. And don't climb any mountains, please.
Thank you for joining. Bye.
See you. Bye.